Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be covering Gbpjpy, Gold, and Gbpaud. My primary focus is Gbpjpy, as that is the pair I've backtested the most and I have the most experience with. So we're going to be focusing on Gbpjpy a lot in this video. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so if we go on the weekly time frame, we can clearly see everything's bullish right now, right? Overall, we're bullish on a when we zoom out, it's clear as day, and we're at major highs right now. Even on the daily, we'll come to the daily. On the 3 day, we're bullish. But yeah, the weekly is bullish right now. If you go on the 4 hour, we can see we're bearish. I'll show you why. Because if you are looking at this, so we had this high here. Oh, we're still bearish, but we broke this high. Sorry, bullish, sorry. We broke this high, we continue bullish momentum, break that high, bullish momentum, boom, boom. Are we gonna break this high? Yes, we are. So that's our high right now. Right now, exactly where price is, that's the high right now. And are we gonna break this low? So if you leave it like this, what can we see? This is our higher low. This is our higher high on the 4 hour. So we're gonna see if we can break this low to go bearish, and that's exactly what we do. We break it, we pull back, and we continue downside momentum. So we're bearish on the 4 hour, right? We're bearish on the 4 hour. So let's just write this down. So the weekly is bullish. The 4 hour, the daily is, let's see the daily. The daily is also bearish. High, that's our high. Higher low, higher high, higher low. This is our new higher low because we break this high. We broke that high, and now we've broken this low right here. We've pinched below these lows and we've also closed below this body. So we're bearish on the daily now as well. Um, is it a strong break? Not necessarily, because we're still maintaining above the support. So we're going to be wary. And it's not very clear of what the overall structure is on the 4 hour and daily. Yes, we're bearish. Yes, we're bearish, and we're bullish on the weekly. So we need to be wary right now because it's not completely clear, right, of what's going on. But we can get some clarity when we start marking up these charts. So when we look at this, what can we see? We can see we saw huge volume in this candle on the 12th of June. This week, we saw huge volume. We formed a higher low, we continued up, we formed another higher low, and we formed another higher low. And we're forming higher high, higher high, higher high. So the weekly is still on an upside move. We're still forming higher highs and higher lows on the wicks of the weekly candles, as well as overall structure. For me, what's a prominent area? If you look at this volume candle, right, we pumped all the way, but the what's prominent to us is where we stopped. And we stopped at the high of this candle, right here. Right here, we stopped, right there. So we pumped, we paused, we stopped there, we had a retracement, and we continued up. We tapped off this area once, we tapped off this area twice. So just looking at this area, we can potentially look at some entry points in this area. We can potentially look for buys to the upside, or we can look for a break and retest down into these wick lows. We can also see we closed below the previous body. We had two weekly rejections. We had two, let me just make this smaller. Yeah. So we had two weekly rejections of 184, around 184. We tapped into 184 and we rejected. So we're stalling and we're moving a bit sideways in the last 2 weeks. If you look at the 3 day again, we had a nice engulfing, and on the daily, what can we see? We can see that this is the high I was talking about, where we retraced, we broke, we tapped into this area, we pumped, we tapped into this area, we pumped, and look at the daily, we're rejecting this area again. We're rejecting this area again. So this is a good area for us to work from. So what I want to do is get our 4 hour lows. What was our 4 hour support? Right here. What happened? We can see that when price came into this area, we pumped to the upside. Price came into this area, we pumped, we came back for a second tap before pumping back up, and we came here, right? If you look at this rejection, Look at this. Look how bearish we were with this strong volume, and we rejected this area again. And what did we do? We retraced and tapped into this support. So we are very, very understanding that this is a good area for us to trade from. And let's get a zone and let's make a zone out of this. Boom. Clean. Nice and clean. So what I want is I've seen the 4-hour rejection twice. I can see a daily wick rejection of this area. What I'm looking for is another tap into this area. And if we reject this area on a lower time frame, on the 30-minute with a doji, with an engulfing, I'm going to look for buys up into 183.8. And I can get our 4-hour resistance to do this just like that. There we go. Put a bit higher. Boom. And I can get my support. Boom. There we go. So I'm looking to trade from these zones. As I said, the dailies become bearish because we've closed below these lows, closed below the body and pinched below these wicks. We can see the 4-hour is on a bearish move right now, but this could just be a bearish move into this zone for us to now reverse and become bullish to continue our upside momentum. So we are trading off this area. It's all about what happens off this area. If we reject this, if we go on the hourly time frame, as you can see, we've had 2 rejections, and some people may want to enter now. But what I want to do, just because it's a new week, I want us to come back into this area, and if we get any sort of rejection here, again, any sort of rejection, engulfing, a doji, a huge prominent wick into this zone, I'm looking for buys up into here. I'm looking for buys up there. Why? Because the last time we visited this area, we went up there. Before that, when we visited this area, we went up there. Oh, there's a high probability for rejecting this area. We're going to visit that area again. So we're going to have some bounce play between these zones. You may miss this entry. If you do, I will show you a possible scaling area, which is right here. Right here. And this is why it's a scaling area. Firstly, we can see there was a huge bearish momentum and we've reversed very rapidly. We saw rejections here. We also see a huge rejection here as well. So if the 4-hour can close above this area, we're going to start looking for some retracements here, and we're going to take an aggressive entry because price moves very fast. It doesn't look like it stays around for a long time. So you don't want to be waiting for too many candle closures because you may miss your entry. So you want to wait for some sort of rejection like this, something like that, on the 30-minute time frame. If you get that, I would put my stops there and put my TP there and try to get at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward. So we're not fast if we miss our entry here because there's another opportunity up here. Of course, this is a whole higher probability area, but that's just something you can keep at the back of your mind. I'm going to remove this because they're not there yet. I just want to keep my key areas for now. I would call this a mid-level, a medium level. I would call these more stronger levels because we can see strong 4-hour rejections from this area. Now you're thinking, what happens if we break? I want a clear, if we break, right, and we don't reject this area, I want a 4-hour closure below. I want us to retrace and give us a rejection and maintain below this zone. And if we do, I see us coming into 180.500. 180.500, right here, right there. And let's just put that there and I'll show you why it's a good zone. Firstly, it's a good psychological level. If you go on the 4-hour time frame, you can see when price came into this area, we rejected, we had a huge doji into this area and we lifted to the upside. You can also see on the daily, it aligns perfectly with the body. Rejection number 1, rejection number 2, continued upside momentum. So again, this is a nice area. I will look for buyers here as well if we come in this area and we reject it. So there's many opportunities this week, as you can see. Like if we reject this area, even something like this can happen. I can even see something like this happen, but we have to see, we have to adapt to what the market shows us and the data it presents us during this week. And our job is to stay calm, relaxed, and focused and stick to our trading plan and make money off these opportunities. So what we can see is something like this, push down, something like that potentially. We may see a retracement all the way down here before continuing our bullish momentum overall on the weekly time frame. But it all depends on what happens here. So this is what I'm looking for. Buys here, up into there. If I miss the buy there, I can scale in above this zone here above this area here. Or if we cleanly break this area, I'll wait for a retest and buy there. For sells, I will look for a break of this area, a retest, and a sell down into 180.500. And if we reject this area, I'll look for buys there as well. So sells below this zone, or buys above this zone, and buys around here if we get 4-hour rejections. That's very simple. Look how clean that is. There's nothing I need to worry about. I'm done. All I need to do is put an alert here. Just put an alert. Done. If I get an alert, I'll come to the chart. Put a little bit below just so I'm ready mentally before it gets there. Alert and alert. 3 alerts. So I'm not gonna go on these charts until my phone pings. Actually, I also want an alert here just in case I'm looking to scale in above this area. So just in case you forgot, somewhere around here, I can look for buys above this area. So I'll put an alert here. That's it. Simple as that. But I want to keep it clean for now and just leave it like that. Simple, simple, simple. Sorry, I've got a sore throat. So Gbpjpy AUD. All I'm looking for, I think I've done my markup for Gbpjpy AUD already. Yeah. All I'm looking for, very simply, is all time frames are bullish. So I either look for buys here or here. Why? We've broken highs on the daily. We closed above these areas. We pinched above this wick. So some liquidity has come back into the market. Before we continue our upside momentum, I need for price to come back here for continued buys, or price to come back down here for continued buys. And that's that. As you can see, there's nice wicks into this area. I would like a wick into this area. Regarding gold overall bullish. We can also see that we've come into this area right here of basically 1900. We tapped 1900, we pumped into these highs of 1958. We came into 1900, we pumped all the way up here. So when you look at the past year, you can see it's a good level. It's also a good psychological level of 1900. We also had a nice doji. So I'm only looking for buys. Where am I looking for buys? All I need. Sometimes gold likes to chop around, so it may chop around this area, come back into this zone. If we get a 4-hour rejection, I will buy this into 1956. Or if we get a 4-hour closure above, I will wait for a retracement and buy into 1956. But now we can see gold overall coming into 2000. Coming back into these highs. I think so. I think we're gonna shift momentum to the upside now, and we're gonna continue bullish momentum overall. Let's see what happens. Thank you very much. I hope that was helpful. And please do like and subscribe and leave a comment on any feedback and any future videos you'd like me to cover. Thank you very much. Have a nice week.